Hostile Publishing presents The Black TP, a Native American oral story as told and passed on by that native Thomas. A long time ago, back in the old days, the good days, before the colonizers came and invaded our land, there lived this tribe. It was a TP tribe with about 40 or so teepees that made up its village. No one can remember their name though, because of what happened. So they only exist in this story. It all started one morning when the tribe woke up to find something that didn't belong in their village. The tribespeople went and got the chief and the medicine man and the warriors, and together they all stood in front of this thing that didn't belong in their village. It was a teepee, but no ordinary teepee. It was a black teepee. All black. Although it had an opening in the roof to let sunlight in, and the entrance was open, there was no light inside, just blackness, darkness, like night, even though it was morning time. So right away they knew it was bad medicine. The chief approached the black teepee and asked, "Who are you?" No answer. "What do you want?" No answer. "Are you lost?" No answer. And he kept asking questions and getting no answers until he grew weary of it. And then he went and got his strongest, bravest warrior and prepared him for battle. They prayed over him, smudged him, adorned him with war paint. And he got his strongest shield and his biggest tomahawk. And he stood in front of that black teepee. And he didn't charge at it like he normally would. He walked slowly toward it. And when he got close enough, he asked, "Do you come in peace? Or do you come in war? Because if it's war you want, war I will give you." No answer. So he took a couple more steps. Then he prepared himself to charge at the teepee, and he let out a loud war cry. Cha, cha, cha. But then a sound came from inside the black teepee. Unlike anything they had ever heard, it was a growl. And then all of a sudden, a large hand the size of the brave warrior came out of the teepee, a hideous hand, and it grabbed him and it pulled him inside the teepee. And then screams were heard, the kind of screams a warrior shouldn't be heard screaming. It terrified all the tribe and the chief, and they all took off running back to their teepees to hide. But 4 warriors stayed behind along with the medicine man. The 4 warriors were brothers of the warrior inside the black teepee. They tried everything to help their brother get out. They shot the black teepee with arrows, but they just bounced off. They threw spears at it and they just bounced off. All the while, their brother could be heard screaming inside. They even tried to go inside the black teepee, but the medicine man stopped them, let them know that it was a trick, that the black teepee was trying to lure them inside there, so they didn't go inside. But they tried everything. They even tried burning that black teepee, but it wouldn't burn. And finally, they grew wary. So the medicine man talked them into going back to their teepees for the night, that he would try to figure it out, and they would try something else the next morning. No one in the village slept good that night because the warrior's screams could be heard all night long coming from inside that black teepee. All night he screamed, and he didn't stop until the morning time. And they all went back to that black teepee, and it was bigger than the day before. They couldn't figure out why until a tribal member told the chief that 5 teepees had disappeared from the village, one belonging to the warrior inside the black teepee, and the other 4 to his brothers. And not only that, but their families were also gone, vanished, no sign of them. So the tribe got even more scared. Chief as well, he ordered everyone to break camp, to go and pack all their stuff, and that they would move to a campsite nearby. And they did that, and they left, and the black teepee stayed behind. They got to their new campsite and set up camp, and everything seemed good. So that night, they all went to sleep feeling safe. But they woke up the next day, and there it was, that black teepee, even bigger than the day before. And they realized that 6 more teepees had disappeared from their village. The tribespeople were even more scared, so the chief had to order them all to go to their teepees until he could figure it out. And then he grabbed the medicine man and some elders, and he had a meeting. The medicine man, he advised them that since they couldn't hurt the black teepee or kill it or run from it, that they would just be better accepting it into their village, making friends with it, getting protection from it rather than it harming them. They would also honor it with a big offering from something from every tribal member. The chief liked the idea, and so they went and got something from every tribal member, whether it was just a piece of food or a weapon or something. That chief took all the offerings and sent them out in front of the black teepee, and then he spoke to the black teepee. "We welcome you to our tribe. We hope you will be a part of our tribe and protect us. And we want to honor you today with this offering." No answer. The chief looked back at his tribal members and smiled and tried to reassure them that everything was going good. But then that growl was heard again. And before the chief could run, that hand came out of the entrance, that hideous hand, and it grabbed him and it pulled him inside the teepee. And then screams were heard again. But this time, the kind of screams a chief should never be heard screaming. The tribe, even more terrified, all retreated back to their teepees, and the medicine man stood there. He knew it was up to him now, so he decided he would build a sweat lodge and have a sweat that night. And then once it was built, he grabbed all the wisest of elders, and they had a sweat. They sang songs, prayer songs, and prayed all night long, asking the Great Spirit for wisdom to get rid of that black teepee and to protect them from it. All night long, they sang and prayed and sweated. And it was until morning time till it came to him. The rocks inside the sweat lodge turned to a pile of seeds, and wisdom was put into the medicine man's mind to what to tell the tribe. So he grabbed the seeds and he went to the tribe and told them what the Great Spirit put in him, that they had to all take a seed and swallow it, and that medicine would grow inside of them that would protect them from the black teepee and ward it off. But they all had to do it, each and every one of them, in order for the medicine to work. Right away, half of the tribal members didn't want to do it. They didn't want to take it. They didn't trust it. They even asked the medicine man, "How do we know this isn't part of the black teepee's magic?" But the medicine man assured them, "I was in deep prayer with the Great Spirit when these seeds appeared, and he put in my mind what to tell y'all. And you've never questioned my medicine. There's no reason for you to question it now because this is Great Spirit given. I plead with you, please take it." And he kept pleading and pleading, but to the ones that wouldn't take it, and they refused it. So that night, he gave the seeds to the people that would take it. And they all went to sleep that night, hoping for the best. But in the morning time, they all awoke. And the medicine man went to the black teepee, and it was even bigger than before, 3 times its size now. And he looked back, and half the teepees of the village were gone. Most of them belonging to people who didn't take the seed, and some belonging to people who did take the seed. So he knew the Great Spirit wouldn't let it work until they all took it. So he pleaded again with the ones that wouldn't take it. They wouldn't take it still. He even threatened to banish them. Finally, one warrior banished himself, took his family and teepee, and decided to go to a neighboring tribe's village. And he took some horses with him from people who had disappeared. And it was a day's track. And he got there the next day and offered the horses to them, and they decided to let him stay there. That evening, he ate with them, and he told them about the black teepee and all that happened, and the seeds and everything. And that neighboring tribe just laughed at him. They poked fun at him. They had laughed so hard and so long, they couldn't take it. And they knew he was probably just a coward. He didn't want to go in battle with his tribe. But since he provided such a good laugh, they let him stay anyways. So that night he went to sleep in that neighboring village. But then he awoke to commotion, to chaos. He came out of his teepee, and there it was, that black teepee inside their village now. And they were shooting with arrows and throwing spears at it. But then the chief saw him, and the chief banished him, told him to leave, that he brought the bad medicine to them. And so he left. But then he decided that he would go back to his tribe's village, since the black teepee was in that village now, that they were probably safe. So on his way there, he got happy because he thought maybe they would consider him a hero for leading the black teepee to them. He even thought they would sing honor songs for him and give him gifts. But that wasn't the case, because when he arrived to his tribe's village, there were no more teepees. Fires were still burning, like they had just been there. But he knew what happened. The black teepee got them all. But he did find a pile of seeds the medicine man had, and he decided to take a seed, and he swallowed it, and he gave his family some. They swallowed them. He took them to another neighboring village, and he told them the story of the black teepee and the seeds that would protect them. And that tribe, all of them took the seed, each and every one of them. And that black teepee never showed up to their village, ever.